one, put firearms education back in schools.
Yep.
I mean, that used to be a thing when I was growing up. I mean, put it back in, like take away the mystery of it. And so many people are worried about their next gun purchase. So many people are worried about, stocking up on that ammo and never shooting it.
Let's go ahead and get this started. We've talked for about 15 minutes offline, and we've heard some great stories that are not suitable for the broadcast. We're going to keep everybody from behind bars. We're going to have a good night with this. But dude, KJ, Kevin Jarnigan, how are you doing, brother?
Doing good, man. It's good to be on here. I've enjoyed listening to you guys, and man, it's been a ride.
Yeah, man. It's kind of a fun time when we get to have somebody who is in the same area of the industry as us. We get out there, we shoot, we hunt, we do the things, but at the end of the day, we're media. So, nobody takes us serious.
Dude, no, that's a good way to put it. I'm glad you put quotations around that.
Hey, dude, we're the freaking punter of this football team. Like, we are the punter. Like, we're part of the team, but nobody cares.
Everybody's like, oh, hey. Yeah.
Dude, it wasn't that long ago when, like, the media drove this industry. Like, that was, like, it was the precipice of gun talk media, really.
Yeah.
And that's what is crazy about how quickly it has turned on its axis to where now we're, like you said, the punters of this, like the whole industry, and it doesn't make any sense.
Well, we're going to change that, dude. Me, you, Matt, everybody else.
Yes.
We're changing this. So let's get it started.
I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm here for it. Like, well, let's go.
What you're going to do is you're going to get us started with Ask AI.
All right. So today we're going to do Ask AI for old KJ here. Today's Ask AI is brought to you by Wheeler Tools.
When precision matters, trust the tool that delivers. The Wheeler Pro Series 100-piece fat wrench kit brings unmatched control to your bench. With torque you can trust and 100 purpose-built bits, it's the all-in-one answer for gunsmiths, builders, and perfectionists. Whether you're mounting optics or dialing in fine details, this kit hits every mark. Clean, confident, repeatable. No guesswork, no strip screws. Just pro-level performance in your hands. Upgrade your bench with Wheeler Tools.
So, Kevin, I mean, we kind of gave you a little bit of warning up front, but we're going to ask AI, who is Kevin Jarnagin? Oh, and I just closed the tab. So
hey,
here we go.
I'll tell you this right now. It better not be the guy up in Oregon, because he's giving my name hell.
This is awesome. I hope it is. Well, you get to defend yourself at the end of this. You get to tell us if it's right or not.
Yeah, right. You do get to defend yourself, and sometimes it's pretty good, but most of the time it's right on. Sometimes way out in left field. So, Kevin Jarnigan, often referred to as KJ, is a prominent figure in the firearms and outdoor media industry. He serves as content creator and host for Gun Talk Media, contributing to various platforms, including Gun Talk Nation, Guns and Gear on the Sportsman Channel, and the Build Box series. Originally from Oklahoma, Jarnigan established his roots in Louisiana after joining the Gun Talk team. Jarnigan's multifaceted expertise and passion for the outdoors make him a valuable contributor to Gun Talk Media, where he continues to educate and engage audiences on topics related to firearms, hunting, and shooting sports.
Man, it's left out.
Taking over. This is why I'm taking over. That was a resume.
Dude, it's pretty good. The prominent thing, I don't know if I would put myself as that, but it missed a lot. They didn't throw out broad. Failed barber. I mean, they didn't throw that out. Like, I'm surprised that isn't in there. But
so
failed barber.
So we think this is, but other than you can't cut hair worth of shit, this is a pretty good one, right?
That's a pretty good one. I mean, other than the failed barber thing and the prominent thing, I think it did all right. I would agree with it.
Awesome. Well, dude, let's get to know more about you. And the way we do that is we hit you with some rapid fire questions real quick. This is going to be fun. Once we're done, they're quick answers. Once we're done, we can go back to any of them you want in detail. But this one is brought to us by our friends over at Frankfurt Arsenal.
Mm-hmm.
So get the job done quicker with more accuracy with the Frankfurt Arsenal X10 press. This isn't just another reloading press. It's a game changer. The X10 features a fast, easy-to-use die change system with a rugged construction and handles high-volume reloading. Whether you're crafting rounds for hunting, competition, or casual plinking, the X10 gives you the speed and precision you need to keep your ammo consistent and your reloading process efficient. Thank God I will be voicing that over because I jacked that all.
I didn't think it was that bad. I mean, X10 is a good one.
Dude, X10 is a good one. We love our friends over there. But
yeah,
let's get to this. And I am so glad it was this week because my last question is going to be the best one of all. And
God dang it.
Some of these are pretty good.
Dude, I'm not going to lie.
This first one's a banger.
Dude, after like reading through like how detailed you guys are, this rapid fire questions, this is the one that I was most nervous about.
Well, you shouldn't be because they're pretty simple, but they will haunt your dreams.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's get started. What's worse, miss on camera or forget to press record?
Forget to press record.
Loudest gun you've ever shot?
Oh my gosh, that's tough. Man, I would have to say this little compensated pistol I shot last week.
Okay. Animal you have not had the chance of harvesting yet that's on the top of your bucket list?
Grizzly.
First gun you ever owned?
A little 410 single shot Stevens.
Least favorite gun trend?
Dude. This might get me in trouble.
That's okay. That's what we're here for.
Tactical lever actions.
Oh, whoa. Okay.
My man.
Yeah. Would you rather teach new shooters or challenge advanced ones?
Challenge advanced ones.
One word to describe SHOT Show.
Hangover?
There it is. Okay.
Yeah.
Would you rather shoot B-roll all day in 100-degree heat or moderate a Glock versus SIG debate on Reddit?
Oh, moderate SIG versus Glock. 100%.
Would you rather pack out an elk solo or knife hunt a pig?
Pack out an elk solo.
Best all-around caliber and don't say it depends.
Dude. I hope no one's listening to this. 6.5 Creedmoor.
Don't worry, nobody
does. Nobody does.
Dude, 6.5 Creedmoor.
Oh
my God. Yes.
Firearm,
I love you, KJ.
Firearm myth you hate.
Oh my gosh. Firearm myth I hate. Currently?
Yeah.
SIG P320s are going off like fireworks.
All right. Dream hunt location, money, no object.
Ooh. Man, Yukon Grizzly.
Would you rather have a gun that won't zero or a gun that won't cycle?
A gun that won't cycle.
Best all-around hunting camo pattern?
Bottomland.
All right. What gun do you own that you hate to admit?
A 6.5 Creedmoor.
All right, we got 3 more left. What is the worst camp food you've ever eaten?
Oh my gosh.
Everybody's had it. Everybody's had one.
Dude, an old MRE from like back in the military, like an old military MRE.
All right. Dream guest for Gun Talk Media. Gun Talk Hunt.
Dream guest. Gosh. Probably my dad.
Best color orange. Volunteer or Longhorn?
Volunteer.
You're crazy, bro. Softball World Series champs. We did it.
Oh
no.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe you're in Nashville and you're a Longhorn fan.
So let me break this down to you. It's a long story that involves.
Are you sporting in here?
Yeah, it involves some school, but also with that, when I was a kid, I learned that I wanted to rebel. And when I realized there was another UT with the same orange and white, but it wasn't what my family liked, that's what I went with. So,
well, as Brian Bosworth would say, burnt orange makes me puke.
Oh no.
Yeah.
We can't do sports in here. It's gonna get weird. I don't do sports.
It won't get weird. No, I have a lot of respect for the folks that, in Texas, and I mean, they're doing good with their program. So I mean, respect. They ousted my Sooners.
Southern insults. They're so great. They're so nice. They're like, oh, God bless them. I love them all. They're doing a real great job out there.
Well, look, hold on.
You have a great day now.
For those sports fans that actually watch sports, the dumbest thing that the SEC does, but now we get to say it, is, oh, hey, as long as the SEC wins, we're happy. Like, this is a street fight, dude. Like, I'm not going to let Oklahoma beat me and then me stand up and be like, yeah, whoop their ass like you did mine. Like, who does that? No, screw those guys. I hope they lose.
Dude, that was a good question.
Yeah.
You set me up for that one.
I did, because I knew the Oklahoma, and I'm like, man, this dude, oh, man, at least he's got a sense of humor. I mean, it'll work.
So, KJ, a lot of our listeners are going to know who you are, but I'm kind of curious now because you threw it in at AI, but like, give us a quick synopsis. Like, how did you get into guns? How did that turn into going to barber school? And how does that land you at Gun Talk?
Well, like, a lot of people don't know, but like, so growing up in Oklahoma, small town Oklahoma, very small. My dad was a barber. My grandfather was a barber. He owned like 3 barber colleges. I mean, so my uncle's a barber. Like, my entire family is a family of barbers. Like, that's what they do. It's a noble trade. Like, well, as my grandfather used to say, it's one of the 2 oldest professions. Can you name the other one?
Prostitution.
Bam. Got it. So I'm glad they chose the barber route instead of the prostitution route.
No, there's probably more money in the other.
There might be.
There probably is.
I think that's a hard life, though.
You get to retire early, too.
Yeah. I mean, I would.
You are
maybe not.
You're put into retirement.
Oh, yeah. But, as far as like the barber thing's concerned, like, so I graduated at University of Oklahoma.
I'm sorry.
Decided, you know what, I'm going to go back to my hometown and give it a go at the barber thing. And like, and for the longest time, like, I was the outcast. I was still am the black sheep of the family because I'm not a barber. Like, I do something that I absolutely love and I'm passionate about, and I get to go all over the world to do what I do. And like, still they're like, you should become a barber. You should get your barber license at least. And I'm like, have I not done enough? Like,
Dad, I'm a hunter. Okay.
Yeah.
Give me a break.
Well, I found out real quick that I've got like a little bit of like essential trimmers. And so the last thing you want to see when you come into a barbershop is a guy who kind of has a little bit of a shake.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just saying.
Not necessarily great for shooting either, but
no, but you can shoot through the shake. Is what Chris Sereno always told me.
Yeah, you can't do like, give me a number 2 fade, and
yeah.
Don't leave it too high with
I mean, it's just not a good look. And I had a really big problem with standing in the same spot.
Yeah.
And so at that point, my wife and I like decided let's just go back to Oklahoma and pursue a master's degree in something I'll never use. So I did that, got my master's degree. And while I was there, I was trying to figure out when I was going to grow up. And there was a little PR agency that I was unaware of until I went to my first SHOT Show. But how I got there, and this was back when SHOT Show was in Orlando.
Wow.
But how it all came about was there was, I don't know if you guys know him, Mike or Matt, Steve Scott. And he had a couple of shows on Outdoor Channel. One was Steve Scott's Outdoor Adventures. And he did this whole, he was a university professor. he happened to be, while I was working at the University of Oklahoma, he was an adjunct professor in in the school that I was like an advisor. And so I hunted him down. Like, I was like, I want to be in the firearms industry. How do I get there? Can I take you out to eat, whatever I can do? And he ended up saying, well, how about you just shadow me for a while? So I did everything. Like, I was a camera operator, I was on air, and I went to SHOT Show with him that year to run camera. Like, I was paying for everything. Like, I paid like my way. Like, I was just basically slave labor at that point.
Yeah.
But he introduced me, and then one day he got let go from the university, and he goes, you know what? Like, how about you go work for Blue Heron, because they just laid me off and they're looking. And so I ended up working at Blue Heron Communications, which is a small PR agency, but all they did was outdoor industry clients. They had Smith & Wesson, Pure Fishing, like all these like giant brands, like Coleman. Man, I have so much Coleman crap in my garage. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I mean, unbelievable clients. But I was stuck primarily on the fishing side, which was incredible. I don't know if you guys have ever been in the fishing industry, but it's absolutely a blast, because all my fishing, everything was done by the time fall hit, which was hunting time for me. So
nobody's ice fishing. I mean, well, there's people ice fishing, but it's not that.
Man, no one wants to go out there and freeze their balls off. Like, no one really wants to do that. Unless I will say this. If I had a ginormous shanty with a heater and all that crap, yeah, I could get down with that.
Okay. So you started
collection in there.
Yeah. The Blue Heron. So you started there. Talk a little bit about how you came to be part of Gun Talk, and I guess talk about what makes Gun Talk to you so special.
Man, that's a good question. And it's typically always the same for me. Like, I think it's the legacy brand of Gun Talk. You know, I think it's funny because I think a lot of people would probably categorize like Gun Talk Media as probably the Mr. Rogers of the firearms industry media. Like,
probably on film. Yes.
Yeah. Definitely on film. But I'm okay with that, because, you know, you look at like Mr. Rogers, like he was well renowned in what he did, and he broke down a lot of barriers. And so I think that was kind of my first like interaction with Gun Talk Media, was at an NRA show for a Young Guns event that Ryan was hosting for all the like used to be young people of the industry. Like, we all would get together, and that's where a lot of the like foundations of like friendships were born within the industry, was at those events. And that's the first time I became like really kind of started getting involved with Gun Talk, because Ryan's always looking to grow. He's looking to like enhance like Gun Talk Media to the best of his ability. And it was actually after I lost our biggest client. They sold to a bigger corporation, and that typically means they axe everything.
Oh, yeah.
And Blue Heron Communications just happened to be on the chopping block. And it was the day after that that we lost them, that Ryan called me and was like, hey, do you want to move to Mandeville, Louisiana? And I said, where the hell is that? I had no idea where it was. He goes, well, it's just outside of New Orleans. And I say, okay, now you have my attention.
So you hook up with Ryan, you take the job, you move down there. What made Gun Talk so appealing?
Dude, it's like they grow so well, and they're always looking to the future. I think that's one of the most intriguing things about it. For me, is that the growth was there, and they're so well respected, and to have them consider me for a job like what they were hiring me for was a huge honor. Like that meant like, hey man, I've done what I've needed to do to keep my reputation pretty pristine and held in high regard. And, you know, one of the funnier things is that how I really got the job was he called me and he was like, do you want to do this? And then I kid you not, like, you know, for as rapid as they grow and as much as they hustle, like Gun Talk, Ryan, he doesn't jump on things quickly, because he'd be like, oh yeah, hey, send me a resume, send it. Hey, send me a writing sample. Can you send me a video sample? Can you show me something that you filmed, something you've edited? And so I had all this like stuff, like I'm like dragging this out. Well, Oklahoma happened to make the Sugar Bowl that year. And finally I called him up and said, hey, I'm coming down to the Sugar Bowl and I'm going to interview with you. I was like, just set aside this time. So I set up my own interview. I was like, hey, I'm coming down and doing this. So, and then on the way back, like he offered me the job. I was like, okay, that's all it took.
Well, it took a set, man. It's a bold move. It took you saying, all right, it's time to call the bluff. Like, all right, you can vet me so much. Let me show you what I'm worth.
Yeah. And I mean, that's really what it was. And that was the only hump that we really had to get over was, just, hey, let's initiate this. Like, I'll just come down there. It's not a big deal. But it was just funny how long it took to get to that point. And I was in talks with Yeti about becoming their fishing like sponsor, their pro sponsorship representative. I was in talks with them. Thank goodness that didn't work out, because then I'd have to live in Austin.
Oh no.
No.
Look, this dude is just like subtle jabs.
That's all I got.
I don't know anything about college football, so I'm just like,
he's like, hey, I like the Vandals. I don't know.
Go Sports.
No, I don't. No, if I had to choose a college football team, it would be BSU for sure.
Yeah, well, yeah, I guess because you're right there. Oh man, you could have thrown that back in my face. The freaking Fiesta Bowl.
He doesn't watch sports. So
thank goodness. I don't know if I could take two of them.
No. No, you would have had to go on in that other profession, the other earliest profession.
Yes,
and you'd still be hanging out in that weird bar in New Orleans.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
God, this is awesome.
So KJ, Gun Talk Hunt is a podcast that Gun Talk puts together. Tell our listeners a little bit about that podcast too.
And before you do that, hold on. Before you do that, if you're following us and you're not following Gun Talk Hunt, like, here comes the shameless plug. Like, just
please
pause, back up, go follow them, subscribe, like a video or two, and then come back and then keep listening. But don't leave us. But like,
don't leave Whiskey and Windage. Please do not do that.
But go follow them too.
Gun Talk Hunt, we were sitting there around and we kind of had a structure on, starting a podcast. And I was like, well, we have, like, hunting is a whole separate thing. Mm-hmm. And I was like, we need a hunting podcast. And I was like, I did not throw my name in there to like host it. Originally started kind of with Ryan and I hosting, and then we got too busy. When you talk about all the things that Gun Talk Media does, it got too busy. And so we just broke it off and we had him host Gun Talk Nation. And I was like, I'll take the hunting side of it. And really it's dedicated more to, we do a lot of interviews, but it's dedicated towards gear and hunting tactics. And that's one thing I'm really passionate about. I'm a gearhead. I used to be of that mindset of, gear will make me better. Like, I used to be in that mindset, but now I find myself like trimming down everything, because I'm getting to a point where I'm doing this so much where I don't need a lot of gear. And that's where I want to direct, I want to try to be a voice for people getting into hunting or getting into the firearm space, that they don't need to go, because walk into any freaking Bass Pro Shop, Cabela's, Academy, and sit there and stand in the hunting aisle or any hunting aisle and go, how in the hell is someone supposed to get into this like space easy? Like, it's not.
My advice is, if you're a hunter, or you're looking to get into hunting, unless you're a golfer, don't duck hunt. But if you're a golfer, you have the money for duck hunting, because you're the dumbass that's buying the new driver every year, like I did.
Yeah.
So you're going to have the 500 decoys that you won't be able to put them all out, and you're going to have the sick of gear and all the stuff that's awesome. But duck hunting is the different beast. But other than that, I think it's interesting what you said. So I do want to just interject and say, what is one piece of gear you could not leave like you got to have on a hunt, other than, of course, the gun.
I was going to say a rifle.
There you
go. I mean, aside from like the important things like your ammunition and stuff like that, like there's a couple of little small things that I think are really important that a lot of people tend to forget. Like, and I've been preaching this on Gun Talk Hunt like continually. If you ever hear this, you've heard me mention Leuco tape. Leuco tape fixes so many problems, but like if your feet get destroyed during a hunt, especially like a backcountry, like mountaineering hunt, anything where you're like scaling, Idaho like killed me.
It gets tough out here.
Dude, it's ridiculous. I hunted up the Selway, and that was one of the most miserable hunts I've ever been on in my life. Beautiful country, but it wrecked my feet.
Country in the world. Like, it's a scary place.
It is. So Leuco tape is something that I preach to everyone. Like, hey, you need to have some of this on hand, because I will pre-tape my feet, and I pre-tape my feet, and I can leave it on there for 10 to 12 days, like sweaty feet, whatever it is, and it will not come off. You're not going to get the blisters. Like, that's important for me, is to make sure your feet are taken care of. And the last one I'd probably say have a kill kit. Like, I do not leave without this. Like, it has everything I need. Like, I could spend a night out with this. Like, this is for after the success of a hunt, really, is what this is for. This is for when you get up to that elk and you're going, do I have X? It's all in this little kit. I mean, I've got sharpening stones. I've got like a little tarp in this. Like, it's got everything. Like, all my knives, like I've got a whole like array of like just knives and everything else in there. I've got a Taito knife, which I would say is huge help. It's lightweight and it's expensive, but it's worth it.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, those are, man, I guess gear is subjective, really. Like, if you think about it, like what might be best for me on my hunt may not be the best for you on your hunt. Like, and there's so many different hunting styles.
Well, I was going to say that because it's different. Like, I'm in Nashville. I've got some land here. And I mean, this morning, like, we were at our front door in the front yard videoing 2 does and a button, like playing tag in the front yard. And there were like 12 turkey on the left. And it was like,
so cool.
I'm like, dude, I don't need anything. Like, I just need a slingshot. Just call me David. Like, I just slingshot one of those dudes. I've got the Wheeler clay copter behind me, and like, I'm gonna shoot something with that one.
Squirt guns with the turkeys,
dude. It's cool, and it's cool. I'm gonna tell you it's cool. Shameless plug. I'm gonna tell you it's cool, and the reason it's cool is because I've got a 9-year-old daughter who I've had shoot once. It scared her. We were shooting 22. She still said it like blew her shoulder off, and I'm like, whatever, you're just drama queen. But no, it's 22 rifle. Like, come on, I'll take 22. Let's go.
Probably suppressed.
It was. But I'm like, to have her involved, it's like, hey, hold the safety, hold that thing, and here's your ear pro. When you shoot it, Dad's gonna make a loud noise, and she's like, all right, go. And I shot a few, and then the other ones are still on my roof because she was just like, hey, let's see how high we can shoot them in the air. And that's what we did. Yes. But, it was cool because it let someone who isn't a shooter or a hunter be a part of it to see. Yeah. And it's not like, we take it for granted. When you talk about a regular trap, like a manual, and you pull it back, those springs and all that stuff, for you, me, Matt, for everybody, that's easy, and it's everyday stuff. Pull it back, wait for it to lock in, go. But if someone's not used to that stuff, like, you can hurt yourself with that.
Yes,
and
very easily.
And so it's like, man, load up 1 or load up 2 on the clay copter. Don't tell Dad what you're doing. Just hold them up, pull the trigger, and let's see if I can hit them. And the thing I hate the most about the clay copter, this is my only gripe about it, is that when you shoot close, it will rub it in your face and it will shift to the side and laugh at you. Yeah. And so for that reason alone, I say it sucks because I should have hit it and it dodged it. But other than that, dude, those things are freaking awesome. I'm going to shoot Matt with one when he comes in.
Oh, you need to play have softball. We need to come up with a game where you play with a bat and you try to hit it,
dude,
at different levels.
See, I like this. That could be fun.
It would be fun. Wear all your baseball helmet and
dude,
set up a whole thing.
I was just telling Matt about a trip that I did up north. Well, up north to me. We went to Indiana
in Kentucky.
State above. Way north, crossed the Mason-Dixon line. So we went up and we did an Asian carp tournament. And I was telling him there are people that show up wearing Pop Warner shoulder pads and a football helmet and a baseball bat. Because the whole goal, these people are you're catching them, you're doing all that stuff.
No.
But it's very similar to what you're saying. Hey, let's start a golf. Let's set it up like golf almost. Let's do baseball. Let's hit it. See if you can hit it.
Or I wonder if you could take it and you could have the what's a frisbee golf frolf or whatever.
Oh,
you could use that.
Oh, that's not even a sport. Sorry if anybody that plays that.
Frolf. Do they call it frolf or is it frisbee golf?
Dude, I don't know, but anybody that's oh yeah, I'm a frisbee golfer, no.
So you like to
unfollow me? Screw y'all. Y'all suck.
So you like to get poison ivy while digging for a frisbee
and wet socks.
That's what I heard.
Yeah, wet socks because the guy just cut the grass. You want?
Yes.
Shut up. That's not a sport. So I do want to go ask you though, because we did not touch on the Gun Talk Media stuff. We talked offline a little bit, but when you showed up when it was you talked about it earlier, when it was not the complex that it is now.
Yeah.
But the complex that it is now, and you have seen the growth. I have heard from contestants that were on Build Box. I have heard from guest, judges, Caleb Savant. I have heard that the Gun Talk Media complex is just a sight to behold. If you're in the space and you're invited or have the opportunity to go down there, you need to do this.
Yeah.
Talk about how you guys have grown and what it's like now.
Well, it was a slaughterhouse and it was terrifying because it's 3 separate buildings built in true Louisiana fashion. I don't know if they don't have rednecks or hillbillies. I think they call them hill reds down here. But so the growth of it, once we got into that space, there's not anything, to my knowledge, there's not anything like it in the firearms industry because our studios there, our offices are there. We have a range training class there and our studio is there. And we have a shooting range 20 yards outside of our door. So and it's a double-edged sword really, is that someone sends us a new product in and then I'm well, let's go make content with it. Well, I just grab a camera, go outside and I can have it. One of our editors edit it in 20 or 30 minutes. So now we have an influx of everybody sending us stuff to hey, can you film this? Hey, can you film this? And not only just for content, but for them, testing ammunition or testing a gun, sending it to us because they know now that we can just step right outside the door and we're shooting.
Yeah.
It's a different creature. We offer training classes out there at Range Ready Studios. And that's really where I think the biggest benefit, because really, when Ryan came up with the vision for what it would look like and how it would operate, it's really about we want education to be part of what we do. Whether it's through our shows or through our classes. And through our classes, man, we have impacted a ton of shooters. And shooters is a term of endearment. Typically, how we define shooters is someone who goes out to the range and discharges firearms in a safe direction.
Yeah.
Just because you shoot does not mean our definitions are very different, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's growing. It's growing like wildfire. I love it. And you had a question in here, and it was and I saw it and I was like, I'd never really thought of it. You asked like kind of how cool is it to say that's where you go to work every day?
Yeah,
dude, I never think about it. Like, cause I think like every once in a while I'll be like sitting on a mower or something, mowing the grass. And I'm like, man, I could be either cutting hair somewhere or shoveling shit. And I'm sure glad I'm doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it goes back to hey, Matt, it goes back to sports. So it goes back to sports and it's kind of like, the professional athlete, like baseball, football player, basketball player, like you go to that arena, that's your job. And there's a practice facility. It just so happens that your practice facility is the same facility that is the shows are shot from. Yeah. So it's a one-stop shop, but it's interesting because I like asking that question because a lot of people, when you're in it, and I think that's just a part of human nature. When you're in it, you don't stop and smell the roses.
Yeah. It's just normal to you. Yeah.
And it's like, hey, this is like your, it's something bias. I forget what it is, but you're like, oh yeah, I think that everybody has a job like this and everybody does this every day. And this is just normal, but it's not.
Well,
I was going to say, it's kind of like Mike, when I came to your house and I was like, man, the range outside, just outside the garage, like I would go bankrupt. Cool. And you're like, yeah, it was really exciting for a minute. And then it just kind of becomes.
Well, I was going to say, it's when you were explaining gun talk, KJ, when you were explaining it, it's like, so my studio is right here. Directly behind this wall is my shop where I do all the gunsmith stuff and Cerakote and all that.
Dude, that's awesome.
I walk right out the door and turn left. And as soon as I turn left, as I'm sitting on my driveway, it's a 112-yard shot to the farthest piece of steel. So I literally walk out.
Awesome.
When people say, hey, let's go to the range, like I load up the side-by-side with ammo and we start it and we drive it and it's running for less than 30 seconds. And we're like, hey, we're here.
You're here.
So I understand it, but you forget it's not like that for people. It's not.
Yeah. And the sports analogy is really good. Just to like think that, I go to work where people like dream of coming and just taking a class. And I guess I do take it for granted and I really shouldn't, but it's
a job for you. So that's your place of business. You're not a fan when you go there. It's you're the talent. You're there. You're either performing on camera or you're helping with a class, assisting with whatever it is, but it's dang.
Yeah. It's a job. I mean, but it's dude, there's not a day that goes by because I trained horses in high school. Like that was what I did all through high school career. Like I trained horses and like it was tough work. And it does make me like, when I think about those times, it does make me appreciate where I'm at now though.
Yeah.
Cause I had to shovel that shit.
Literally.
Literally a lot
of it. So KJ, at this point in your career, I mean, you've spent quite a bit of time in front of a camera and with lights in your face and a microphone in your face. To a lot of people, that can be nerve-wracking, especially in the very beginning. Do you have advice for anybody who's new to that type of space and is thinking about setting out on that adventure?
Man, that's a good question. I've never been asked that. I guess my advice would be just to suck it up, get over it, and just get in front of the camera because you are never going to get better if you don't go after it. Mm-hmm. And it's, to me, I was just very personable. And so I think that's how I ended up on camera. But it wasn't like, that wasn't what I was driving for. Mm. And if I'm telling you right now, the camera does not lie.
No.
So if you come across disingenuine or like you're overstepping, you're ahead of your skis on a topic, it's gonna show.
Yeah. Or you're fat like me.
No, I didn't say that.
The camera doesn't lie. I'm telling
no, it doesn't lie. No, what I mean by it doesn't lie is that look, you can edit fancy, and we've all seen these videos. But man, and Chris calls it performance on demand. So Chris Serino, who I am blessed to have, because he teaches me so much. Like I learned so much from this guy, but he talks about performance on demand. You've got to be able to do it.
Yes.
Yeah. But because it's going to show, like you will be found out. Like I know we can edit all we want, but man, at some point you're going to have to shoot in front of people. And I used to be the guy who was I was very intimidated to shoot in front of people.
Yeah.
Like, because I wasn't the best, and I'm not the best at all. Like there are people out there that are far greater shots than me. There's people far greater on camera than me. But man, if you are genuine in what you do and show your passion through how you act and how you carry yourself, dude, you're going to be fine. Just jump in.
As long as, you're going to know what I'm talking about. As long as you don't act like after you take an animal, as long as you don't act like, what's that country guy? Luke Bryan, when he shot. Is he down?
Oh.
Is he down? Is he down?
You know.
Have you seen the video?
Yes.
Where he like fakes it and he's like sitting by the tree. He's like, damn it, Luke, shut up. He's down. Calm down.
We watched him fall like 30 feet from us. Like,
would you shut up? You don't shut up. I'm shooting you next. Like,
dude, that to me, yeah. I mean, it's like I get excited.
It is exciting.
It is exciting, and I get pumped up. But man, like, how many of us really act like that when the camera's off? Like,
just him.
I was gonna say I've never seen the video, but it sounds pretty embarrassing.
Oh my gosh, Mike, I've got to send it to you.
Yeah, dude. So speaking of that and laughing about it, what is the funniest moment that you can remember that you were a part of filming?
Oh my gosh. That I was filming?
Like, or you were like,
that was part of.
Yeah, you were part of, whether you were
part of the production in one way or another.
Whatever, you were there.
Man,
here it comes. We're throwing shit.
It's not really funny, but like my first few months at Gun Talk, we were filming Guns and Gear. It's actually kind of tragic. And like, I didn't have my system built on how, like, cause I didn't realize I was in charge of all the SD cards. Like I didn't realize this. We have, a pro shooter come in and film a couple segments and great footage. And I'm like, oh my gosh, we got it. This is great. Like I look like a hero. And apparently like we were very stingy with our SD cards and how we dropped them. And oh my God, I felt so bad I still feel bad about this. Dude, why'd you bring this up? Oh my gosh.
It's the best part.
Dude, like I can look back on it and laugh now, but it wasn't funny back then. Like we go out for the next shoot and we film and then we're putting the show together and one of our editors comes over and says, hey, do you have the footage from that day we shot with Tommy? And I was like, oh yeah, I got it. And I go through back and look and I'm going, oh crap, I don't have it.
I don't have it.
Okay. So Tom Gresham, and if like,
yep,
the dude is a legend. Like he is one of the guys in the firearms industry. He is like at the top for me.
He's the name. Yeah.
He flies and he goes, you know what? Not a problem. I'll go fly to Tommy in Alabama. I'll go fly a crew with him, film it and come back. He flies. The same night he flies to go get footage that I lost, his house burned down.
Oh no.
Dude, I have never felt like a bigger piece of crap in my life because I was like, I don't lose that footage. He has potential to like save his house because he wasn't home. And dude.
But what if he would have been at home asleep in it?
Oh, but no, they was like happened around dinner time and like his wife like
asleep, Matt.
So
sorry. Hey, I was trying to find the silver lining. I'm sorry. I was trying to put a different twist on it.
Dude, I looked for those silver linings and I never found it. Like, I'm still looking for it. Like his house got renovated, but it was a whole, like, it was awful. It was horrible for them. And like, feel like I kind of sort of contributed to that. And I felt like complete dog. I still do. Like, I still feel bad because I feel like it was all on me.
I think we were looking for something kind of lighthearted and funny,
dude,
and you got to hit us with this,
dude. That's
like,
the.
I don't want to. I don't want to laugh.
That is the one. I mean, we all have those moments of like, oh, I forgot to hit record, and it was like the perfect take. You know, like the big. What is it? The Tropic Thunder big explosion, and like it's all for naught. You missed it. You forgot to hit record. But we have a lot of fun in the editing studio. Like one time, like when you like, we have remote cameras and we have it on an end trigger, which means like it'll record 8 seconds, you know, before you hit the record button.
Oh, that's
like, and so like, but I have to like, so we have so much footage of me running to try to hit the record button in enough time, and me sitting there in front of the camera looking like, okay, did I get it? Did I get it? I didn't get it. Like, and that's just me being a slow white boy.
Yes.
I'm like, my 40 times aren't what they used to be. I'm sorry.
Oh, no.
Oklahoma.
Like, yeah. Like they grew them strong on the farm, not fast.
Boomers. So
like, but yeah, so, I mean, like, that's just how, like, we have a ton of those stories. I mean, and every day is different. Like, every day around the office is funny. Like, you never know what you're going to get into. I mean, we had a thing called Leverfest down at our studio. And during that, our good buddy, Jared Grove, Box.
Yeah.
He like there was a 6-foot gator out there that I was like, he's got to come out. Cause like, it was a big gator. It might've been 7 foot, closer to 7 foot. And like, everybody's sitting there eating lunch and everything. And I go whisper to him. I was like, hey, our gator guy's here. We're going to go get this gator. And he gets to shoot like a 7-foot gator, like 100% legal, like in off time. Like,
dang.
I mean, something's always happening. Like, and especially like, since we have water around us everywhere, there's snakes everywhere. And dude, I'm not a big fan of snakes.
I don't like snakes.
Like, if I know they're there, I'm fine.
That's me.
It's not knowing that they're there.
Dude, a mouse will scare me. If I don't know it's there and it moves, I'm like, yo, what was that?
Crap.
Yeah, it's the thing. It's like, I don't care if it's poisonous, if it's a garden snake. If you're like, hey, there's a snake over there.
Okay.
I'm like, all right, cool. Let's keep going.
Yeah.
If that thing is within,
striking distance,
5 foot from me, and it's like, up there, here comes the 6th grade schoolgirl scream.
Yep. 100%. Like, I'll scream, whatever it is.
I'll probably
like, and the bad thing is that he was 10 at the time. Like, I had to have my son remove a snake for me. And that was one of the most emasculating things I've ever done in my life.
Did he laugh at you?
Oh yeah.
Your boy did? Good.
Yeah. Oh, he still makes fun of me for it. And he should. Like, he should.
How does a guy that spends so much time in Louisiana, though, that kind of, that afraid of snakes? But I don't have a whole lot of room to talk, but
I'm going to say Louisiana's like the Australia of
the U.S. Yeah. There's all kinds of crazy animals.
It wants to kill you.
Dude, it wants to cut you, bite you, or eat you in some form or fashion. Like, and that's locals too.
Have you ate a Nutri-Rat yet?
No.
Do people eat those?
No, that's disgusting. Now there is, and I was supposed to go to it last year, but Chris was sick, so we didn't get to go. But there's a thing called the Nutri-Rat Rodeo. Nutri-Rat Rodeo.
Yes.
Dude, They stack them by the tons. So it's like a tournament. And they have no really form or fashion on how to like really judge this. So you've got people stacking giant crates of Nutri-Rat like months before, like shooting them and stacking them to win this rodeo.
Dude, that thing's gonna stink. God,
gross.
It's incredible. You should look it up. The Nutri-Rat Rodeo.
I mean, I've seen out west here. I've seen some like coyote rodeos, like some coyote roundups and stuff where like they are stacking dogs. But
yeah, but that's like, I mean, at the nighttime. But these guys are doing it every night, every day. It's supposed to be just within a 24-hour window, but these guys are stacking Nutri-Rat bodies like cordwood. I mean, it's ridiculous.
That's crazy. So you've talked about going to Idaho. You've talked about, we talked offline, you're going to take your boys up to Canada.
Yeah.
Talk about, you've been able to travel almost all over.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like the going to work at Gun Talk. So you've turned this passion and this hobby you have into something that actually you get a paycheck for.
Yeah.
So, when you actually reflect on it, like, how blessed do you feel to have those opportunities?
Man, it's one thing I will never take credit for, or take for granted, is when I go on a hunt. Like, every hunt to me is special because that's where this all came from. Like, it all came from my love of the outdoors and how I got here, and just really, I think a lot of people take for granted that it takes so much work to get to a point in your career where you're like, I get to do this every day and I'm okay with that. But man, I never take it for granted. I can't, especially when I'm in the woods, like when I'm in the woods, turning my hunting into a career, that's just something that I won't take lightly. I can't, I'm couldn't do it without my wife. Dude, she puts up with a lot because I'm on the road a lot. I'm going all over the place.
Yeah.
Somehow she still puts up with it.
Well, it's because you're not there.
That is probably true.
If you were there, you would have already dug the hole that she buried you in.
Yes, there is that. But no, you've got to have a supportive staff around you. Basically, you've got to have those people in your life that will keep you grounded, and they'll keep pushing you. And she's definitely been there.
Awesome. Good. Shout out Mrs. Jarnigan.
Yeah.
So KJ, in those hunts, is there in all of your career, is there any one of them that stands out as your favorite hunt of all time, or most memorable hunt of all time?
They're all good. And I know that sounds so cliche, but they're probably my first elk, because it was up in my uncle's place up in Canada. I spent all week trying to chase just a couple of different bulls, and came close, but didn't quite happen. And then 2 nights before I'm scheduled to be done, I went out by myself. I called it in, made a great shot. It all came together. My dad was there with it. So, I mean, that one sticks out, but I think this fall is probably what I'm looking forward to the most, just because it's me taking my boys there, and my dad gets to go on that hunt too. So I'm really lucky on that front to have him a part of it.
That's going to be 3 generations: your uncle, your dad, you, and your boys.
Yeah.
That's going to be rad.
That's going to be something else. And especially to see them, because they've never hunted for bear. And I hunt bears a little bit differently out there. And I don't know if I'll do it now that since they kind of outlawed shooting of grizzlies up there, I don't think I'll be able to take them to do this hunt. It might be a little bit too dangerous, but typically how we hunt them there is he plants oats and, wheat fields and stuff like that. But the oats get up to, 5 foot, tall. And so what those bears will do is they'll just go in there and they'll lay down. And they're like a fat college kid, is they'll just lay down and they'll just eat all day. That's what they do all day. And so we walk around and we're elk hunting. And so we'll walk those field edges, those oat field edges, and we'll just blow the call. And if the wind's right, if the wind's coming to your back, typically those bears will catch a scent and they'll stand up. And so it's like whack-a-mole is really what it is.
Oh, man.
And you never know where they're going to pop up.
Bizarre.
Or what kind of bear will pop up.
Yeah.
Because if a grizzly bear pops up, your hunt is done. You're done.
And you're in danger.
I'm in danger.
Those are the danger bears.
Danger bears.
Oh, I remember if it's hold on. Because I'm going to show y'all how dumb I am with bear hunting. Wait a minute. What is it? If it's black, stand up and yell. And if it's brown, play dead. Or what is it again?
I think if it's brown, you're going to die. It's something like that.
Yeah.
I just know the hunt's over.
So what part of Canada is this in? That's a big
Man,
country.
it's way up there in British Columbia.
Okay.
Man.
Like it's probably an hour from I don't know, whatever the Yukon is up there. Like it's that far
I
up.
I was up in the Yukon last year, not hunting.
Oh, really?
But
What were you out there doing?
Actually, my father-in-law is in Canada, and so I was just there for a visit. So we drove the Yukon Trail into Skagway, Alaska, and even as a boy, even as an Idaho boy, like that is insane country. Like, just mind blowing the scale of it. Like, I can't imagine trying to hunt.
It's so wide open,
large
man.
game up there.
You get up to those areas and I think the elk up there are just so much bigger. Like as far as like body size, they're the racks. Like I don't really pay attention to about that, but like their bodies are so massive.
Big animal.
They're incredible.
I want to ask you, when you were talking about the elk hunt earlier, and you called one in, and you got to harvest one. I've never hunted elk. I've hunted a lot, and then I kind of grew tired of hunting, and I hate to say it that way.
Yeah.
But I hunt in Tennessee, and my rule now that, I live on a good bit of land is like, hey, I'm not going to shoot a whitetail unless it's a buck. Unless it's bigger than one I've shot previous.
Yeah.
Just because it's like, these are like my wife and kids' yard deer. And like, I'm not going to shoot the ones that are like in the front yard. I'm not doing that. But it's like, if I saw one, I'd be like, all right, I'm going to go hunt one. I'm going to go find one. But I've always dreamt, and I've always thought about it and talked with my dad about, like, cause he's a huge hunter. If he's not hunting, he's in a boat. And I'm kind of cut from the same cloth. But I've been cityfied a little bit. But so talk about what it feels like for those who have never elk hunted when you hear one, because I want to do it. I don't even care if I hunt it. I want to hear one bugle as close as possible to me.
Man, it's intimidating, because when you get like a fall crisp morning, I mean, leaves are coming off and he's coming in, scraping his rack on like some, aspens or white birch trees, and you can just hear the mass coming through the trees. Dude, it's incredible. And when like a real guttural, I mean, almost like a visceral, just ancient growl comes out of that beast, dude, your hair stands on the back, up on the back of your neck, because like he's close enough, like you can smell him. And when they're that close and they start screaming, it's incredible. We had a hunt. Actually, the last time I was up there, heavy fog. It was foggy every morning. And we got into an area, and there had to have been probably 30 elk around us. And this bull came out, and he across the field. And like when you hear a scream from a bull and him bellow, like, how big he is. Like you can get a sense of like the maturity in the voice. It's like talking to an old man, or like you hear Sam Elliott and you go, oh, that's an old dude. Like, so you hear that and you're like, that's the one I want to go after. Like these guys, like these elk hunters are just like in tune, and being there and hearing him, and especially in the fog, and it just cuts right through it. It is absolutely incredible. So think of it this way. So you turkey hunt, right?
Yeah.
Okay. When that mist in the morning starts lifting and those birds light off that tree and they're sitting there and you can't see them, but they're there, and they let out a giant gobble, not like a Jake gobble, like a big old Tom gobble.
Yeah. It.
What does that do to you?
Yeah. It gets you ready. It gets you.
And it's the same thing with elk, except on like TRT, dude. Like
we had a friend of ours, KB, Kevin from Q, and he's doing a whole lot of the African safari stuff. And we were talking about when you hear lions, and he basically was like, these guys can project for miles.
That would be incredible. That, you know what? I would say, like, I have no interest in Africa. None. Like not now. Well, because I probably can't afford it. But to hear a lion in the wild, I think has to be in the top 5 bucket. It should be on the top 5 bucket list of every person on the planet.
Yeah. And it was crazy because he said when you hear it, it's just so intimidating. And, you know, the PH or, you know, his professional hunter will be like, hey, man, that thing was close to a mile away. So we're good. And he's like, no, that was right here. And he's like, no, it's not. It's
really,
it's a mile away. A long way away. And so when you hear things like that, it's like the bugle, you know, you hear it on all the hunting shows if it's out west and you hear the bugle and everybody's like, oh, that sounds so cool and this, that, and the other. But every hunter that hunts them or anybody that lives around them that's heard them is like, well, there's a bugle and then there's the bugle that you hear. And it's like, it's earth shattering.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The speakers, the headphones, whatever, the recording equipment that picked it up will never do the justification of like being within a few yards of an animal making that noise. I've never shot an elk, but I've been pretty close to a few big ones, and they're an intimidating animal. It's a huge creature.
I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna be bending your ear offline, and I'm gonna get you. You're gonna help me light this fire to get back in the woods. I mean, I used to go in the woods and I used to hunt a lot and I got scared.
Yeah.
Honestly, I got scared because with work and everything with life, I'm a big climbing stand guy and I would get up there. And the last 3 times I went hunting, I specifically remember getting there early, loving it, climbing up, getting up way high in a tree, sitting back. And then the next thing you know, it's 10 o'clock. I completely fell asleep in the stand and did it 3 times in a row. And I'm like, you know what? If I fall out of this stand, like even if I'm strapped in, even with a harness, I'm doomed. So I'm like, all right, no more stands. So it's like, you know, I'm like, I got to shoot something bigger than the last one. And I guess,
I have narcolepsy.
I'm a narcolepsy hunter, obviously. So it's like, but I've got my daughter's boyfriend who loves turkey hunting, and I'll go out there and I'll put a mouth call in and we'll go out and I'll call him right to him and he'll have his pick. So it's like, I really want to get back into hunting. And so it's like, man, I just need that bug to hit me again.
Yeah. Well, and it's funny you say that because like they always ask like, well, you shoot so much things, like do you ever get tired of it? And I'm like, no, because there's so much stuff out there that I want to pursue that like I haven't even gotten to yet. And there was a short time when I was like, well, man, it feels like I'm doing very repetitive hunts and everything starts to run together. And man, now I've got boys and now I get to pass it on to them. And so that's kind of the stage of hunter I'm at, is I'm kind of on the pass it along stage. And I've got my Louisiana wildlife, instructor certificate. And so now I teach courses, and I teach all the, the hunting and fishing, certification courses for kids and stuff. And that's rejuvenated me, I think, a little bit more than I expected it to, because now like I'm not only teaching my kids, but I'm kind of the starting point for a lot of young hunters.
Next generation.
That's right.
Yeah. And I think that's been really cool. It's been a learning process for me, because you start talking about like taking stuff for granted, like the stuff that we get, like being in the industry, dude, I give it all away now. Like I have a neighbor kid down the way. I had a couple of neighborhood kids that they love the outdoors and they love what I do. They're like, how did you do this? And I get to mentor them, but I get to give them all the stuff. Like,
that's cool,
dude. That's one of the coolest things to do, is just like, man, here, take all these hats. Like I get all the patches. Like, so when I get back from like SHOT Show, like I have a line of kids out the door going, hey, what'd you get? What'd you bring me?
Did you get stickers?
Hey, you got to keep some of those patches out of there, though. You got to keep some.
There's some that are not kid appropriate.
Yeah, well, yeah, those go in the truck. But like, I fed the stray cats, and they keep coming back.
Yeah. Look, if you're handing out like Abu Garcias and like you're handing out nice stuff to help kids go fishing and go hunting, like They're gonna line up if they're smart.
Dude, they are. And like the neighborhood kid down there, like speaking of coming down from the fishing industry, because that was one of our clients, was Pure Fishing, and Abu Garcia, Berkeley, and all that. Dude, I had so much stuff. Like each of them, they at least have 2 bait casters from me, and at least another spinning rod, and then like giant tubs of like soft plastic, worms and creature baits.
Yep. Keep that stuff inside. Do not keep it in your garage, because if it gets hot, that stuff melts.
It'll turn into a ball.
Yeah. You have one lure.
Yes. So you're talking about your favorite hunt. So now let's get back to your passion. Let's talk about your favorite rifle, the 6.5 Creedmoor. So if you could hunt with one rifle for the rest of your life, one rifle, one caliber, what would it be?
Man, so we did a rifle on build box that it was made for me. Like I had accumulated all the parts. I just hadn't gotten like an action for it. And then I didn't have anybody to put it together. Except a good buddy, Todd Benura of Maniacal Arms.
I saw this episode.
Dude, that dude is a freaking genius. His rifle, he is all about accuracy. Like he's a long range shooter, accurate. And yes, it is in a 6.5 Creedmoor. Hi, I'm Kevin. I have an addiction. But dude, it's such a well-rounded gun. Now, I would, if you told me I had to pick one caliber for all game, like grizzlies all the way down to antelope, like I would pick the Lord's caliber. I'd probably pick a 300 Win Mag.
Yep.
I mean, like that kills everything. Like I think you've got enough energy.
Perfect prairie dogs.
Yeah. I mean, there would be nothing left.
No.
But I would probably have to say that gun from Build Box that he built, it's got a Wook stock on it, Proof Research, Sendero barrel. And then it's got an Aero Precision soulless action on it. And I know that's a great beginner.
I've got a soulless action. I've got a soulless action in here. You know, for Aero, when it comes to ARs and all of the standard stuff, I will say that I don't want to say they're beginner quality, because they're a step above that for damn sure. But when it comes to their actions, you can tell they put just a little bit extra in that.
Yeah.
Because I think still to this day, it's a better quality action than the majority of the actions that are coming out from big manufacturers already on a gun.
Yeah. But like, and that, like, it is a step above. Like, it's not, I don't know how to explain it, but it's something that is smooth. Like you can tell it's almost custom without that price tag. And to me, like a gun is a tool.
Yeah.
Like I use, like people they probably think that I have 500 guns in the safe. I have one safe, and it's a Liberty Fat Boy. Like, it ain't
Liberty. Dang, they got your code.
Yeah. That is all I got. Like, I don't have anything else.
Yeah.
And I've had that safe since I was in college, and so I don't have a lot of guns. Like, all the guns that I have are used. So I keep my safe very limited, but man, I've got an old Thompson Center Icon that has stacked some elk and deer, and it's in 300 Win Mag, and that gun freaking shoots.
Is that the single shot?
No, that's the now that would be the Encore.
Okay, the Encore.
Yeah, the Encore is like the single shots, but that the Icon, which they don't make them anymore. I would say that. So when Thompson Center came out with whatever the Venture series, I knew that Venture series was going to eliminate the Icon, because the Icon was kind of their high-end hunting rifle. It's got a synthetic stock on it. It's probably way heavier than today's firearms, like it is. But dadgummit, man, that thing shoots, and it has stacked some skins, man.
Hell yeah. So to piggyback off of the one rifle, there's lots of calibers coming out, lots of hunting calibers. You've got I referenced our buddy Kevin out there who's a lot with 8.6, 338 arc, 7mm backcountry, 6mm. There's all sorts of stuff out there. You can easily take the FUD, the old guy approach. None of these are needed. You're good with 308 and 300 Win Mag and this, that, and the other. Or you can be a little go against the grain and say, hey, I'm trendy and I'm going to try this new stuff. But what's your opinion on all these new calibers? And do you think it's making the industry, I don't know, I guess, is it attracting more people and is it making the industry better?
I don't know about better. I don't know if that's the way I would probably put it, but I think it's pushing a lot of companies. I think it's pushing competition, which is good. But better, I don't know. It obviously, I mean, yeah, I guess it would be better because, I mean, why not chase better ballistics? I mean, that's what I think the 7mm backcountry, I think that's what it's 100% for, is shorter light rifles. It's giving hunters a better option. Like it's giving them a better option out of a short frame at better velocity so they can execute their longer shots if needed.
With
so
gear, yeah.
I mean, I welcome new cartridges. And I mean, you start looking at companies like Hornady and what they're able to do with, Hornady is a fantastic company. Like,
yeah,
they are marketing geniuses. Those guys over there know what they're doing.
Yeah.
But to be introducing so many new calibers, like year in and year out, I don't know how they do it. And guys like me, I can't keep up. I don't have enough hunts lined up to test everything.
Yeah.
So what we do is we end up, so you test them on the range. And if you don't have hunts lined up, I guess you go hog hunting or something. That's easy to do.
Yeah.
Or you go and compete.
Yeah.
And that's where I've started to head into is I've been doing so many more competitions, like more than I've ever done. I wasn't a guy who really likes to compete because, it's difficult being on this side of it, on the firearms industry side of it.
You're judged.
You're heavily scrutinized. And I don't blame them, because I go out to these competitions and these guys, they're outstanding shooters. They're phenomenal. Like 90% of them, if they had some, if they had an opportunity, dude, they could take my spot in a second. And they can shoot.
Yeah.
But I welcome it. I say, man, bring on all the calibers you want. Cause that's bettering, with today's technology. I mean, you start talking about the 6.5 Creedmoor. I know it gets a lot of heat, but dude, that was one of the original cartridges that really started to push the potential to do better, to offer stuff like the 20, what is it? It's a 22 arc now. And offering stuff like that is I just like the 6.5 just because, man, I've killed a lot of stuff with it.
Yeah. I think, it kind of plays along with something we say all the time, like having less options, having less gun companies in this country is not a good thing. And so everything that we can do as an industry, as a Second Amendment community to support innovation, to support new rounds, new firearms platforms, we need to try and do that. Of course, all of us can't afford to just jump on the bandwagon of whatever's hot this month, but regardless of if that specific round stays and becomes the next best thing or trickle down from it, it's going to help all of us in the long run.
Yeah. So where do you guys think this is going?
Man.
Caseless,
that's my big thing is I don't think that the firearms industry can grow anymore. As far as advancements go, I mean, I hate to say this, I personally think that a lot of companies are putting lipstick on a pig right now.
Could be, yeah.
I think that the only thing that's the next logical thing to change is the ammunition. Yeah. Because you can't change anything else because
how good can an AR get?
Well, and it comes down to, well, or a bolt action or anything else. Like, just break it down, and it's almost the chicken and the egg. So I'll turn it back to you, KJ, and ask, so in a perfect world, should the cartridge manufacturers come out with the new cartridges and the firearms industry build to spec, or should the firearms industry come up with the new latest and greatest?
Ooh.
And the firearm and the bullet manufacturer build to spec? Because that's honestly, I'm not going to say, because they both have their limitations. They both have their pros. But when you look at 338 ARC and you look at 8.6 Blackout, they are, all right, all the tech guys are going to kill me in this, but I mean, to the common man, on paper, they're the same damn thing. And if you're not shooting subsonic, neither of them matter.
Right.
So it's like, well, the gun guys are, the gun guy came out with the 8.6, but the bullet guy, the Hornady guy, came out with 338 ARC. And it's like, well, which is better, and who should come up with this? Who should come up with it? Which
one is going to stick around? Is it the one who puts more marketing efforts towards it?
Yes, that's what I think, because I think, and I'll throw a little shade a little bit, but and I'll just be honest. You've got the guys over at Q who are just literally, and the results cannot be denied.
No.
Every piece of big game in South Africa or Africa as a whole is being taken from the little, I don't even know what those deer are called, but they look like fawns. I think they're Bach or something. Like, those things look like they should be your pets. All the way to elephant are being taken with this thing. So you can't deny the 8.6.
Right.
But the 338, I'm not seeing a lot on film that is justifying it, but I'm seeing it on paper.
Right.
So I think my official answer is yes, innovation is a good thing. And as long as people are innovating, there's going to be a lot more options. And the more options there are, the more people that own firearms there are, is what I think.
Yeah, when you talk about who should develop what, I don't think we should put boundaries on lanes on that, because you, like Kevin down in South Africa, like, dude, he is standing the 8.6 up by himself. It seems like
it's his money. He's taking his sales reps. He's taking his friends. He's taking field ethos guys that they are his friends. And out there, and you can't deny it.
It's killing everything. And then you have companies like that are trying to support that 8.6 Blackout, like Faxon's making some barrels and stuff. Like, the bolt actions that they're coming up with is trying to lift up the 8.6 Blackout. And the 8.6 Blackout, I think, will stick around, but like, who is that benefiting? Like,
me,
because it's going to be,
all right. Hey,
and this is going to be frustrating for a lot of new hunters, because they're going to sit here and they're going to listen to this. Look at that. That is sick.
So that is an 8.6 Blackout. So this is the perfect gun. That's the perfect gun. If you're in Tennessee, you're in Georgia, you're in scrub, where when you tell people, oh man, it was a poke, I shot deep. When you're shooting 150 to 175 yards, it's quiet, it packs a punch, and it gets the job done.
It'll knock them over.
So if you don't like spending $4 a round, whatever. But if you're shooting a 308, most of the good old boys around here, you're putting 3 or 4 in them anyway. So it's still $4 or $5.
That's true. I mean, that's the problem, is that, like, the average guy, the one question he wants to know is, can I find that ammo at Walmart?
Nope.
Like, you're not going to. Like, wait, hold a second. You're telling me I have to go into the city and I got to go to a Bass Pro and they might have it?
Nope. You got to go online.
Whoa, that's a whole nother setup.
Yeah.
So then it opens the door back for 308.
It's going to be It's going to be generational, honestly.
And so my dad just started. I mean, my dad's in his 70s, and he's been hunting for since he was in his teens.
Yeah.
And I started getting on the 8.6 train about 2 years ago, right when it first kicked off. I was on it. I showed it to him. He shot it. He loved it. He started reading print magazine and realized, oh, I don't like it because these guys were talking bad about this. So what he went with,
some FUD.
Yeah. So what he went with, man, my dad's a FUD. He is though.
He is.
But what he went with though is it's still formidable. He went with a 375 Legend, and it's kind of the same, kind of, but it's still a big caliber, heavy bullet, slow.
Yeah.
But it hits like a sledgehammer, and he's using that, and he took his limit this year, and he's happy with it. And I'm like, you know what? If you're I guess that what it boils down to me is if you're into conservation, because I'm still huge on that. If you're into conservation and you're into putting food on your table, I don't care if it's a 22 LR, hell, a 17 HMR.
The wildlife departments will say otherwise.
Yeah, well, I mean, you might be able to shoot a squirrel,
squirrels, rabbits, and stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
But as long if you have the caliber that is within your legal limits to use on the game that you're trying, and it helps you harvest a deer, there's not a wrong answer for you. Now, for me, it might not be the one, but for you, if it was successful for you and you got an ethical kill, and it was a one shot, or I'll even give you the follow-up if it was, terminal, but you were helping the thing out.
Yeah.
You do it. I really can't say anything.
Matt, see, that's where I lean heavily on bullet construction and understanding your ballistics, because as much as I love the 6.5 Creedmoor, there have been some rounds, they don't work at all.
No,
Shining example. I was sitting there, and I've got a beautiful 5.5-year-old deer, 275 yards away. Shouldn't be a problem. Hit this thing twice. Jumps 3 6-strand wire fences. I have to go track it. I find it. It gives us the slip. Jumps another 3 6-strand fences. Never found it. And then same thing happened like this year. My boy made a great shot on it. We have got it on trigger cam. Never found it. I mean, like you start to look at it and I'm like, okay, was this a bullet thing? So great thing we have a range down here. So I go and test it. Man, those bullets fall apart. I mean, there's almost nothing left. So you've got to really pay attention, like what bullet you're using for that gun.
Yes.
In some of the hunting groups on Facebook here, like Idaho elk hunters or something, they call it 6.5 wound more.
Yep.
I mean, just it has a reputation of, if you have not chosen the correct round, it will not drop a large,
even with
really big mule deer or a really big elk.
Even with correct shot placement.
Yeah, even with correct shot placement.
Yeah. Well, and man, out west, it's so tough for me to take. It would be so tough for me to take a 6.5 Creedmoor, especially after what I saw that
It'll
7
do the
backcountry do.
It just doesn't have the energy that far back.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
I think 6.5. I mean, people will argue and say it gets the job done, but in my book, 6.5 is a PRS round.
Yeah, that's what I'm shooting in it. Like that's what I'm shooting. I'm shooting either that or the 6 GT.
Yeah, I mean, if you're wanting to put a hole in paper or punch some steel at range and all that, it's a great entry level PRS round.
Yeah, but man, after seeing what that 7 backcountry does to elk, and how well it operated, like I would have a hard time. Telling someone to use something else.
Yeah,
I mean, it was impressive.
I've got 3 hunting rifles, 2 of which are overkill for Tennessee, but it's what's set up. And my 3 hunting rifles are it's a custom built 308 on a Remington 700. That's the first one. The second one is a 300 Win Mag. Overkill for Tennessee, but it's good.
That's okay.
And third one, and it's not really great for animal. It's great for other, but it's still great for animal. It's a 338.
Yeah.
I mean, my Lapua, I'm there's nothing in front of me that will not take down.
No.
But if you're trying to harvest, shot placement is key.
I mean, unless you wanted to grill it too. I mean, just shoot it. It'll gut them too.
Yes, it will. So let's go into something funny so we can laugh. What is the most embarrassing moment you've had filming or podcasting?
Oh man, it's really hard to get me embarrassed. Like it really is. Like I've had some stupid stuff happen on camera and stuff. Like I did a whole stand up and like my fly was open the whole time. I mean, wide open. And like, it didn't really faze me. I was like, oh, okay. Like that's a thing, I guess. I mean, it has I don't get embarrassed that often.
You get what you see.
Yeah, that's what it is.
I used to like it, the podcast, the lights and the mic and the kit, like it. I used to get pretty freaking nervous.
That's different.
Real.
You do.
That's different. Like when you start like getting like really like live. I love doing live shows. Like live shows are like my favorite thing because I feel like that's when I'm most on and I'm like attentive.
Yeah.
Like we do SHOT Show lives and like you'll have people come, like I know like quite a few people in the industry and man, when they're walking by, like they're trying to get me to go off and like trying to like distract me and stuff like that. And I can stay pretty focused.
Yeah. My fun. Go ahead, Matt.
I was gonna say I'm not scared anymore. I've done a few AK mag changes on camera. Like that'll embarrass anybody.
Gosh, that'll
embarrass anybody. So
dude,
you get
that AK quick. Mag changes on camera is a tough thing. Like, so I applaud you for that because that's not easy work.
No. Fun fact with me when we first started the podcast, God, 2 years ago, I'm cool with public speaking and I'm a people person, so I have to see people.
Yeah.
If I don't see people and we're not a huge production, so there's nobody in front of me.
Right.
It's just a monitor and a camera. So to make me more comfortable for like the first 10 episodes, I printed out a picture of a face and I cut a circle out for the lens and I put it there. So I would literally just sit there and talk to this face and it kind of put me at ease. And it sounds so stupid, but if you're someone who's starting out and you're not sure and you feel awkward and you're like, I need a person, I did that. And I wouldn't shut up. And now like
that's a good little tip, man.
I created a monster, but it's like, if you can just envision that lens is two eyeballs, like, look good. So
and now Mikey could talk to a wall for 2 hours.
I don't need Matt. I don't need KJ. I could have a show and I wouldn't even care if anybody watched. I would just myself
just talk.
Freaking great.
Those are the worst, man. Like, cause I'll do some of these like sometimes on like by myself. Like it's like me and just talking to the camera.
They're tough.
Dude, those are so hard, but like usually I'm like very gear centric, so I could talk. Like there was one time when my editor had to go, "Hey, you have to stop. We have to we're gonna have to cut this the end of like 4 episodes." Because I was just like, "Oh, here's what I like about this piece of gear," and it's like he's like, "Dude, this was supposed to be 30 minutes long."
Yeah, like bro, we're 2 hours in. You need to slow down.
Yeah, you shut your mouth. But yeah. So, have you had a lot of embarrassing moments? Because I mean,
yes.
Oh yeah.
So my most embarrassing moment never made it to camera.
Oh,
it made it to camera. It never made it. It never made it to YouTube.
So fun fact: we had episode number 13, and it's unlucky for a reason. It's not aired. It never made it to air. So we had a guest. The guest flaked. So at the time, it was myself, Matt, and our third co-host who has moved on to other things. But it was us three, and we were going to do it. And it's like, it's easy. We'll just talk about, I don't know what it was. It was talking about like suppressors or something like white freedom. Easy topic, softball. So I thought, well, hell, man, I can take the wife out to dinner. We can go eat. So we go Mexican and we start ordering pitchers of margaritas. There is an hour of footage of my head on the desk saying, just give me 1 minute, guys, and tell me when you're ready. And I'm ready. I'm good to go. I'm just resting.
Oh.
We could not get through it. Well, I'll take that back. They could get through it. I couldn't get through it. And we had to just abandon it. That was my most embarrassing.
Oh.
Nobody's seen it. Huh?
Man, I guess like there was like 2 years ago SHOT Show. I caught the SHOT Show bug.
Oh, those are crucial.
I had to be on camera like I think 6 or 7 times every day during SHOT Show, and I was like deathly ill the whole time. Like it was awful, and I like had to go do the evening things, and like the whole time.
You got to put it out of your mind, though.
No.
You got to overcome it.
Yeah, you had to overcome it. But dude, I was drugged out of my gourd. Like I was dumping in all the Dayquil I could, and all the stuff, like as much as I could get in my system. It was horrible.
Yeah, I've only been to SHOT Show once and done the runaround. I can't imagine doing that while also being like super sick. It was horrible. I don't recommend it. I'm a big
don't do that. No. Catch it before you go out there.
Yeah.
Well, we did. I caught it. I was sick like 2 weeks before, and then it was like I showed up and I was good.
Yep. It's kind of what happened to me.
I might have been patient zero. Like,
hey, I will take that because most years that's what I do. I get sick before, and then I'm like, all right, I'm good.
So I told you my story about not making it to air. So let's ask your story, and it's probably not a margarita event. What's one thing that you filmed that you just wish was aired that never made it to air?
Dude, I almost started another podcast just with some buddies, and it was filmed in this room, and we had like kind of the best podcast name ever. And we still have it.
So what is it?
Unsuppressed.
I love that. I'm loud and proud. I don't mind shooting with that.
It was so good, but we had a couple episodes because we would have bourbon, and it was 4 of us sitting there talking, and we got so loud. Dude, I am so happy those did not make it to air, because
the first 20 minutes would have been great. First 20 minutes, great.
It was just a steady climb down. It just went off the rails, and there was no structure to it. And I'm sitting there watching these guys how are they going to drive home? Because they're not staying here, because this is in my house.
We're going to be catching gators later in the pond.
Yes. Oh yeah. So I'm so happy that didn't make it, but I'm a little bit sad that it didn't see the light of day, because I think it would have been entertaining, but might have tanked a career or two.
Yeah, you wouldn't have been a Gun Talk Media very long.
No.
That was kind of the inception of Whiskey and Windage, was, sitting around, have a couple drinks with the buddies, and pretty early on though, within 3-4 months, we were like, hey,
we have to tone down the whiskey.
Yeah, we got to tone down the whiskey part a little bit, a little more windage. We are trying to, build a relationship with people and companies. We got a little easier on the whiskey, and we've gotten a lot better. But I think we've all been pretty
as
canned.
far as titles go, you guys are I would say probably one of the top 3 out there as far as titles, and production wise, man, we all know Whiskey and Windage, they just seem to go together.
They do. I've got a flat bill with your name on it, by the way. So when we're done, I'm gonna get
I'm
gonna send you one. So it's gonna have to go on some sort of Gun Talk TV show.
It's coming. It'll be on there.
Look, it made it. Not just the guns hat. See,
dude, those guns hat they came about from Puerto Rico, because I went down there and iguana hunted.
Dude,
talk about fun. Okay, so
I want to go to Florida and do that on airboats.
Well, you can do it just as easy going to Puerto Rico, and if you take your wife, then it's I took you to Puerto Rico, and you can get air guns in,
but it's not.
No, it's not foreign. You get guns in just like you would stateside. I mean, you just take your air gun and travel with them exactly like you would here.
We're going to need a gun talk show where you invite the idiots from Whiskey and Windage. We're going to have to do this. Like,
dude, I'm game. Like, that is a trip that can be done extremely cheap. And you've got, I mean, millions and millions. Like, so you think we have like wild boar, wild hog problems here? It's the exact same, except it's iguanas there. And so farmers are like, please come help me get rid of all these. And they're destroying the infrastructure, burrowing tunnels and, holes and under roadways and collapsing roadways. Like, It's ridiculous.
I was going to say my most crazy hunt was iguana sounds good. My most crazy was shooting a full auto out of a helicopter at boar in Texas. And that was.
I still have not done that. I've done every other form of hog hunting there is, but I haven't done that one. That sounds amazing.
It was amazing, and it was fun, and it was great, and it was all the things that you think it was. And thank God there were full mags, because flying, shooting, like you needed the extra ammo.
Yeah. It seems like you would need negative lead on that, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Up through it. Yeah, probably.
Yeah. You're almost starting low and walking to them because of the elevation and everything. It's really weird. You'd have to like lead, let me get 5-10 yards in front.
Right.
That bird is going so quick that you actually, like you said, you're aiming. If you aim at the ass end, you're good.
Right.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. Has there ever been a shot that in either, I guess, camera or shooting wise, that you ever thought like, how in the heck did I do that? That'll never happen again.
Twice.
Mikey's got a couple, actually.
I got a couple. So my first one was with you're going to laugh, I'm going to send you the video, with my tactical lever action Henry Model X suppressed.
Jeez.
I was sitting there, and I took an old beer that was in the garage fridge, and I threw it 45, and I threw it up, and it went, and I shot it out of the air, suppressed. That was my first one. And I was like,
GoPro on his head.
GoPro on my head.
No way.
First take. And I was like, there's no way. I shot the rest of the box. I shot the rest of 20. I didn't hit it again. So
the only one that mattered was the first one.
But I caught it, but I was like, I got to see. So then earlier in our podcast, we had Scott Volkortson on from Volkortson Firearms, and he sent us a Mamba, and it was open sight pistol. And I was like, I saw one of the Instagram guys, Pew View, where he shoots a quarter on a string. So I was like, shit, I'm going to do this. So
How hard can that be?
Yeah. So I took a string, taped a quarter to it, swung it left to right, stepped back. I think it was 20. How far was it, Matt? Was it 20 yards, 10 yards? I forget how long I counted.
Something like 10. I think it was 10 yards.
10 yards. It was swinging with a 22. Very first shot, I shot it, shot the quarter, blew it off. I had to go get a metal detector to find the quarter.
No.
It took me 3.
After I did that, I shot again, and I bet I shot 100 rounds, and I think I hit it one other time.
No way.
Oh, fun fact.
You got the quarter.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, that's awesome.
So I keep the quarter.
Yeah, as you should.
Those are my 2 shots that I'm like, there's no way I should hit this. But, I mean, it's like that with me for everything. If it's golf, and I suck at golf, but if we play golf, you're going to think, oh God, this guy's good from like hole 1 to 4.
Yeah.
And then it's like, I fall off and like, they're like, why is this guy even here? So it's the same with shooting. If you tell me, I think I would have made a really good military sniper, because if you need me to shoot between 1 and 5 rounds, I'm your dude.
I'm your guy.
But if this is like a 24-hour battle and it's me versus that guy and it's more than 5 shots, like I'm doomed. I'm gonna scare the shit out of him for the first 5 or 6 shots, and then I'm probably
deteriorating rate of success.
Yes, I'm getting.
Oh yeah.
Yes, I'm getting cat at the end. It's over. Like
that's 100%. They like there's shots that we pull off that it's like, that's not how it's supposed to go. Like, you're like, I shouldn't have made that shot.
No, it's crazy. We used to do those, and we used to be on Instagram and have these little challenges where, like, you would take a pistol, rack the slide back, balance a 9mm bullet on the top, flip it, catch it in the slide, and rack it so you could shoot. Man, I bet I did that thing 400 times.
There's no way.
Before I hit it. But it was like, if you had the bullet in the chamber and I was ready to shoot, if you need one shot to like save the world, I don't know if I'm the guy, but I'm in the conversation. But if this is a firefight and it's like a battle of attrition, buddy, find somebody else. I'm going to be hunkered down with the women and children.
He does.
I'm not the dude.
He does have some sort of weird knack, though, for being able to rise to like the 1 or 2 shot challenge. And when we were in Texas, and our boy Eric from Alpha Omega was like, but you can't hit that from here. And 100 yards, Mikey one hands and goes cold. It was just like, bing, ring steel with a 9mm, like 100 yards.
No way.
So
he did it 3 times in a row.
So I bought one of those cheap, I don't want to say cheap, inexpensive.
There's PC.
Yeah. Inexpensive T-Sauce double stack 1911s.
Yeah.
And I bought one because I said, I'm going to put this thing through the ringer. And our buddy Eric from Alpha Omega Kydex came up, and he had his staccato P.
Mm-hmm.
No, it was an XC. It was comped.
Yeah,
and he was like, hey, let's shoot steel. Let's ring steel at 100 yards. And I'm like, done. 3 times in a row, I hit it. He hit it 3 times. I missed my 4th. He missed his 4th. But I was like, I'm just as good with this
as you are
an expensive gun with that staccato. But I mean, but then again, funny. It's range and there's no pressure and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Pressure.
Well, dude, I used to do the same thing at, like, we would have the beer hole in golf, and I never lost that hole ever. Like, when the stakes were the highest, that's when I'm like, okay, I got this. Like, every other hole didn't matter, but when it got to that one, it was serious.
And I think our highest performing short, Mike, is you were out doing a GoPro on your head when I called you on the phone. And so it's a video of you talking to me on video, and you just one-handed pull it and catch a target way off in the distance. And I was like, did you hit that? And you're like, I hit it.
Yeah.
I mean,
dude, that's cool.
I am the epitome of hold my beer.
It's super funny.
Yeah.
So, like, hey, watch this.
Yeah, exactly. So, dude, before we wrap it up, I've got a couple questions on industry, and I want to talk about culture. So how do you feel that hunting media, because you've been in the game a little bit, I can say that you're old as hell because you're my age. How do you feel that the hunting media has changed over the last 10 years?
Man, we kind of talked about it like at the beginning. Like, the firearms media used to be, it's not this anymore. They used to drive innovation. They used to drive, where some of these companies like really springboarded products from. And they were held in a little bit more higher regard, and they played a more crucial role in the development of products. You look at a company like Gun Talk Media, and it's 3 generations of Greshams. And it started with Grits Gresham. Dude, companies would send him guns like they were going out of business. Just send them to him, everything. He had one of everything. They were very much catered to. And I'm not saying that's where we need to go, but there are some very, very good media guys out there that have very good insight and very good knowledge. And we're starting to get away from like companies taking into account what they are seeing, because we're real world people.
Yeah.
Like, we're on the front lines. We're doing, the stuff that everyday guys like to do. We're out there in it. And to see more industry moving away from like how important the media is kind of scary. And it's a little bit disheartening.
I think we're seeing, and I mean this with the most love and respect, because it's used The term's used loosely, but nowadays, when you make videos and you make any sort of media, if the autism isn't on 10, it's not going to hit. And, I battle that with frustration personally because, I don't want to be that's not fair guy. But at the same time, I try to find that silver lining and be grateful that hey, at least this guy is getting through to the next generation. Yeah. And maybe I'm not that guy. So you gotta be happy for it. But at the same time, it sucks because if I don't make a gay joke or a dick joke, it's not going to go anywhere.
Yeah.
And these other guys are just hey, yo, they gave me this. It's cool. And I'm weird. And you live in your mom's basement. Watch me shoot this. And it'll get 1 million views. Yeah. And I'm like, what? But you could take the best of the best, and I know they're all great, but you could take the best cameraman and the best editor, and you could put the best storyboard together, and you could come out with this 30-second short for TikTok or YouTube or you name it, and you could put it out, and it's going to hit, but it's not going to hit like the dude with his iPhone that's hey, check me out.
Yeah.
And that's great. It's the power of social media. It's great because any safe, responsible display of gun ownership and firearm safety is amazing. I'll never knock that down, but it's disheartening. But I mean, it's the world we live in.
Unfortunately, it is. And there's so many good guys out there who are doing a really good job. I'll tell you this, as far as I don't want to call him old time, but he is one of the guys who is absolutely out there killing it. And I'm so impressed with is Ron Spomer.
He's good.
How he has caught fire, and thank goodness he has, because we need more guys like that to catch fire. Because do you understand how much information he has in his brain over the years in this industry that once he's gone, that information's gone. It's because what kid these days is going to pick up a magazine that he wrote in, about the whatever, a 25 Wayland. No kid's going to pick up a magazine to read today.
No.
Thank goodness he's basically creating a digital archive of what is going on through his mind and how he's seen it. And that gives me hope. He's one of the guys that I really look up to as far as creating content in today's firearms industry, that goes to show the old guys, and I'm considering myself more of an old guy now than I am a younger guy, because I've been in, the industry nearly 18 years. And thank goodness he's doing this, because it's showing guys like me, hey, you can innovate and you can figure out a way to connect with younger audiences. Yeah. So there is hope. I mean, and thank goodness guys like Ron Spomer are doing it.
We're go ahead, Matt.
I was going to say, I think there is hope. And in talking with a lot of other content creators, it's obviously there is a fad of right now, swipe really quick, fast videos, but they don't have there's not a whole lot of substance there. There's no education there. There's not a whole lot of knowledge there. But it seems that content creators are starting to I don't want to make that type of content. So I'm going to continue to make my medium format, my longer format stuff that has a lot more information, has a lot more context to it. Yeah. And people will they're either going to hop on board or they're not. And it seems that there still is an appreciation for those longer forms, still an appreciation for some of the written word, and still appreciation for firearms content on television. It's still there. And I think it will start to come back to that a little bit. Hopefully.
I hope.
I was going to say, I hope so. And I don't want to make this a pity party. You guys at Gun Talk, you're at such an advantage to a point because of the Greshams. And thank God they're blazing trails and continuing, because
absolutely right.
If Gun Talk doesn't have mainstream TV to help them, it's a completely different snapshot. And it's like the rest. It's like, I don't want to say the rest of us. We're getting creative. We're ducking around the shadow ban. I hate saying that word because I believe everybody's shadow banned. And I believe that if I'm throttle 50%, so's the biggest content creator. He's throttle 50%. So whatever. But to get to those guys, to get to the people that want to watch it on TV, it's amazing. And, you know, one day offline, I'm going to pick your brain on how that stuff really goes and like, hey, what's your reach and all that stuff, because I'm truly interested. But it's, if you don't have that mainstream reach and you're just solely relying on social media, the days of 100,000 followers and, you know, 1 million likes, unless you're established, unless you get lucky on a viral, the days of that are gone. They're gone. You know, I was sad to see, you know, Matt from Demo Ranch, because while the autism was on a 7.5, you know, he always made sure that, hey, this is going to be safe for my kids to watch. This is safe for all children to watch. And I'm going to be a good patron of the 2A space. And the sad part is, for every one of him, there's 5 of the other direction, and we're all guilty. I'm guilty. I loved FPS Russian. I loved watching him shoot, you know, let's blow this refrigerator up. Let's blow this.
That guy blow himself
up. And as unsafe as that stuff was, it was the stuff that I watched.
Yeah.
It was cool. And
you weren't the one doing it, because you were like, man, sure.
It's way better to watch somebody else almost die than to almost die.
So I guess to circle back to your forte in hunting, what's your biggest take on social media's impact on the hunting culture?
Man, sometimes we get a bad rap because too often we get entrapped, especially for like your on-air talents out there. We get entrapped by it's got to happen. Like, and unfortunately, that's burned a couple on-air talent folks that they got it done, but they got it done illegally. And you just can't do that. And because like I said, man, the camera doesn't lie. You'll get caught like in one way or the other. Like I try to be as respectful, and like everything you watch from my point of view, like if anything that I'm on is 100% natural. Like it is, I do not fake it. If I miss a shot, I miss a shot, and that's fine. And I think we've got to be honest with ourselves when we're looking at this stuff and like what we're consuming. Because it's not always accurate. And but as far as like where we're at, like social media wise, it just sucks because it's not widely available to like show the good people, like the good, really good people that are doing it out there, that are doing it at a high level. You know, I always looked up to like Jim Shockey, like one of the greatest guys out there, and who just lives it, breathes it. And like, how come he's not bigger? Like that dude, like, man,
dude, he's a beast.
He is. Like, well, and like then you get like guys like Joe Rogan, who, or there's a lot of them out there that, I just discovered hunting and now I'm a hunter. And like, then guys like, you know, me or like Sponer or like the guys like that are out there that have been a part of this. Like, we've been trying to tell you guys like how awesome this is.
But you're not Joe Rogan.
Oh, heck no, I'm not Joe Rogan. I don't know if I really want to be Joe Rogan. But the influence that he's had, even a Steven Ranella, like the influence that those guys have had, like through social media and stuff, to positively impact the hunting space, I think is a great thing. Yeah. Like, I mean, like those guys have such a big audience that, man, like any, like they say, anything that comes of what Joe Rogan says, like it's gospel to so many people. Yeah. And as long as he's doing it in the right way, I think it's as long as he's representing hunting in a right way, which I think he is right now.
I think so.
Yeah.
Now, to the guys who want an Idaho sheep tag or a Colorado elk tag or something like that have been putting in for, 10, 12 years for a unit.
They're going to be pissed when he gets one.
they're going to be pissed. Like, well, they're going to be pissed anyway because he's influenced so many people to pick it up. And they say, well, Joe Rogan said to go, hey, let's go to Colorado and shoot an elk. Well, everybody has to go to, maybe I'll see Joe Rogan in the back country.
Yeah. I think it's interesting though, because it's a catch-22, because if you show the stuff that's popular, if you show the stalk, if you show the hunt, you show the shot, that's what gets everybody. But even I'll challenge our own community and I'll piss off the hunters here. If you showed the aftermath, if you showed what happens after, and not the dressing, but if you showed the work, that's cool. But if you showed, hey, I'm either going to process it myself or I'm going to take it to a processor. And then after that, I'm going to feed my family and I'm going to do the things that the reasons people hunt. Yeah. Nobody cares.
No, that's not the fun part.
What sucks, because if conservation could be a non-discussion. It could be a non-issue if people would take the time and somebody would put together an intuitive video that just captivated everybody for 45 minutes and everyone watched it. No one would ever bring up hunting and conservation again because no one cares after the shot. Even the hunters who are watching the show, nobody cares unless it's you. And then half the time, I get people like my dad, Fudd. You'll get him that's like, oh, that's an elk of a lifetime. And you'll look over and be like, damn, Dad, we should go hunt over there. Yeah. Nope, I don't want to drag that thing out. What? Nope, too much work. I don't want to drag it out. I'll just stick with this one. It just lost its spots. He doesn't do that. But you know what I'm saying? Like
it's wiping milk off its chin.
This one's easier. I can do this. I don't need to go out there. Let's go to Africa. I see Kevin doing this, man. He's telling us we need to come out there. Nope. Everything in Africa will kill me. All right, fine. Then just die here. Yeah. Like, I don't want you to die there, but everything's going to kill you.
So much of so much of social media is about the experience. Like they want that experience, but they don't want the work that comes with it. And let's be honest, conservation is boring. Yes. Like conservation is boring. No one wants to really hear about it, like unless it's their cause. And no one's going to raise a fuss about releasing Colorado wolves in Colorado, unless it's on their farm. No one, if hunters, if they really thought about it, they would not want wolves in their area. No, nope. That's boring. They want the experience and they want the ability to say they did it. Because that's what social media is. It's that's why we want to engage with people, but we don't want the people close to us. It's look what I did. I'm pretty awesome, right?
I'm very adamant, and I want to hear your opinion on this. I'm very adamant. There's lots of states, and I am, before anybody just comes off the top rope on me, I am 100% pro 2A. Yep. But I have my reservations about constitutional carry. And my reservations are because it's not that you paid money. I hope that the government would subsidize and give you a free training. My problem is that no one receives any formal training, even if it's not how to shoot. It's be responsible for where the bullet goes or what happens after the fact. But even then, that's not the thing. I still think if you want to carry a firearm, you have to take a life. I don't care if it's a bunny. I don't care if it's a bird. I don't care if it's a deer. You need to know what the firearm does, so then you can understand in the future what it's capable of doing.
It's a consequence.
There's far too often people are like, oh, I'm constitutional carrying. I don't have a felony, so I'm going to carry a gun. And if it hits the fan, you're either not going to pull that gun, or if you pull it, I hope and pray that everything is legal and it's a good shoot, because if not, they will put you under the jail.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, they can't wait to.
No. And I agree. I truly believe that every citizen in the United States that is allowed to carry a firearm or own a firearm should have a firearm. And I'm not arguing that, but I wish the government subsidizes for everything. Oh, class for this, learn that. I wish they would learn that. And I don't know, it might cut down on some gun violence and some, and some gun stuff.
One, put firearms education back in schools.
Yep.
I mean, that used to be a thing when I was growing up. Like we had,
and in Oklahoma.
Yeah. I mean, put it back in, like take away the mystery of it. And so many people are worried about their next gun purchase. So many people are worried about, stocking up on that ammo and never shooting it. And what optic am I going to get next? We're so gear focused, and you don't know how to pull the trigger on any of them.
Yeah. You
don't know. Like, and that's what's scariest about all, because we see it all the time. Like guys will come into class and they'll say, "Oh yeah, I'm probably going to be your best student." And they are the worst. They can't hit the broadside of a barn if they were standing in it.
Yeah.
And it's scary to think of how many people are out there, like either open carrying, like one bad idea. Like, I don't want to be the first target. They don't think about, like, I need to take an actual multiple day gun class, because hunting wise, like if I take a pistol class, like it is going to help my trigger press on a rifle. It will. It's a little bit different feel and stuff like that, but it puts you behind the gun. The anticipation, you get all kinds of benefits.
Are fundamental across all of it. Yeah.
Yes, 100%. And I 100% agree with you. They should a government subsidy for a gun, like a multiple day gun class. Like I would love to see that. That's why, like, I tend to agree with you on constitutional carry, and I think it's a right to be given to every single person that's breathing, barring any felonies and all that good stuff. But
it's scary as hell.
It's a big responsibility.
Dude,
serious.
It is.
If you can't put, and I hate to say it because it's Bambi, man, if you can't sit back and shoot Thumper with a pistol, if you can't just shoot that rabbit with a pistol, what in the hell makes you think that you're going to rise to the occasion to protect your family? Yeah. You can say, "Oh, different situation." Life is life, man. To me, life is life.
You will rise to the level of your education. Mm-hmm. It's simple as that.
Lowest form of training. That's
what you are. Ignorant as fuck.
Yep.
I freaking love it. All right. So what's the biggest, since we're talking about conservation and everything else, what is the biggest misconception you find for non-hunters when it comes to hunting?
that we're all uneducated, and even though I was educated in Oklahoma, there were uneducated bubbas that don't care about the environment, when we are 100% the largest conservationists on the planet.
Preach.
That's it.
I also heard if it was Oklahoma, you kissed your sister, but I don't know.
Most of the times, yes. That was Arkansas. I think that's Arkansas.
And Kentucky, but okay.
A master's degree in Oklahoma's got to be worth a bachelor's degree somewhere else,
in Mexico or something.
Yeah, it's got to be.
Says the potato man.
Says potato man. Yes. So I think that, getting close to the end, but I think that there is a little bit of a disconnect between mainstream firearms industry and hunting. Maybe it's not obvious to everyone. Maybe hunting guys feel different, but I think that there's definitely two separate kind of cliques or gangs, right? And a lot of guys are really hunting focused, which is great. A lot of guys are hey, I just do these types of weapons and tactical training, and so we're divisive. And there's lots of these little cliques for all kinds of things in our communities, and we tend to get divided. So the gun industry, firearms rights are always, constantly in the news, under fire. And I guess any words of wisdom out there for guys who are just hunters and think that thing may not make it to their doorstep.
Man, hunters are some of the biggest conservationists on the planet, and they're the laziest people I know when it comes to standing up for their rights. Because, like, we will go up to the state capitol, and it's a bunch of guys with salt and pepper hair, white hair, or bald, like, and there's not a hunter in that whole group. They are late. They don't get. They just. You're right. They're ignorant to what it means. Well, I don't hunt with an AR, so I don't see the value in it. Is what I mean. Like, just because that's not what you deal with doesn't mean it's coming for you. Because every time, like, we rarely get anything back. Like, once it's off the table, like, we don't get it back. Like, the Hearing Protection Act is the one thing that we might get back. And that never happens. So if they come for a semi-auto gun, you may not know this, but yeah, your granddaddy's 243 auto loader, that's no longer on the table. That's off. Yeah. You can't hunt with that anymore. Like, so, like, they don't open they stay in their bubble. And when you say we're divisive and we're apart from each other, you're right. When the hunters are man, it just frustrates me so bad because I see it. They think they're not coming after hunting. Well,
it won't happen to me.
It will. Like, it's happening to all of us. Yeah.
Look at Colorado.
Man.
So,
well, I like draft like letters to Colorado. Like, that's not even my state. Yeah. But, like, I know what those people are going through, and we've got to be able to funnel our efforts, even if it's just sending a letter or sending a message. And there's pre-made messages out there. Mm-hmm. Like, crap, jump on AI and just say, hey, draft me a letter in opposition of X.
Yeah.
And send it to that legislator, because people,
if you go to GOA, GOA, you're subscribed to their emails. They'll literally give you a link and a copy paste.
Yep.
I mean, just get active, get out there, get in the fight, because the fight's coming to your doorstep, whether you like it or not.
Hell yeah. Well, before Matt hits you with his final question, I've got my last final question. Uh-oh. And we're going to say there's so many Greshams, because when you first said Gresham, you said Ryan. I'm like, all right, cool. Yeah, I know him. Wait a minute. I wonder if he's related to the guy that works at IWI, Jeremy Gresham, but no, different guy. But let's say Ryan comes to you and says, all right, there's no legal ramifications or implications. There's no, we got to buy this out, or we got to buy the rights to this, or whatever. If you could bring back one show that is no longer on the air when it comes to firearms, it could be hunting, it could be competition, it could be whatever. If you could bring back one show and it would be under the Gun Talk Media umbrella, what would it be?
Well, we had a show, and it is the greatest. It's one of the best shows, I think. Bringing back. I have another new show idea that we're kicking around, but I'll save that. It would be Gun Venture.
Okay.
And so I think it only made it 3 seasons. I was on the last season.
That's
maybe
that's why I died.
Dang it.
There's one common denominator here, KJ.
I think I'm seeing a pattern. But it was called Gun Venture, and we would travel different places to get a feel of the local fair, the local gun scene, and do something fun. Like, I went to Colorado with Lanny Barnes, just phenomenal shooter. Her name's Lanny Oakley on the Instagram.
We know her.
And she put me through like a mini 3-gun boot camp. And so, like, I was out there working out with her, trying all the stuff that she did. And then we went and jumped into the River of Death when it was freezing cold. That's literally what it was called. They named it the River of Death.
Did you shoot upside down?
No, I did not. Thank goodness. I don't think my scrawny legs could handle it. but you know, we had a show like that where we ran around, and that's why we went to Puerto Rico. Is we went down there, saw the gun culture, shot some iguanas, and you know, did some other stuff. But like that's one that I would bring back just because it was a fun show.
Hell yeah, that sounds awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're about to the end of the show, KJ. It's been a great show.
Hell yeah, it has.
It's been a blast.
We've got one last question. It's always for fun. I mean, us gun guys, we all kind of secretly judge each other based on the type of stuff that we like. So we want to know, Kevin Jarnigan, what are your top 5 guns? You only get 5 to last you the rest of your life. You got to cover all the shooting, all the hunting you like to do, and you only get 5 guns.
So NFA does not matter.
Okay.
Cost of ammo does not matter. So full auto, SBR, suppressed.
Anything you want.
Anything you want.
Oh my gosh.
You can pick a battleship if you want. Like that's a gun.
Oh man. God. I will. Okay. Dude, that's such a hard question.
I don't like limiting questions, but this is a fun one. It makes guys really think.
So I'm going to go with a P365 fuse because I can carry it. I can shoot it all day in a class. Like that covers me on pistols. I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm going to pick up my Matthews archery bow.
Dang, he went with a non-gun.
Dude, I went with a non-gun because it's super
machine,
quiet,
dude.
And I'm good with it. Like, so I'm okay there. You have to have an AR. And part of me wants to go with an old Colt.
You don't have to go brand if you don't want to.
No, because I want to go with it like kind of like an OG, like an old M4 would be just fine for me.
Heck yeah.
Okay.
And then I am going to go with a 6.5 Creedmoor bolt.
Old Woundmore.
Because I like to compete and I like to shoot. And if ammo is not like a limiting factor, like I can get that stuff everywhere.
Yep.
So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. God, my last one. I gotta pick something cool.
No scatter guns. No.
Man, like I could go shotgun, but I kind of want to make this one a little fun.
All right.
And I'll probably go with
forget, like Chris Sereno might watch the end of this.
Probably
not, but he might.
I will tell you this: like I got a chance to shoot a BAR, fully automatic BAR, and man, I fell in love with that thing. And so, like you talk about a scatter gun, like that sucker, like
you can hunt ducks with that. Yeah, it'd be
I hunt ducks with that. Either that or an old punt gun.
off the top of the pond.
Yep, just skipping around.
People think the 1911 was John Moses Browning's best design, but others would argue the BAR was
the BAR
was
is something special, and that like because I took like so my son's a big World War II historian buff, and for his 15th birthday, a guy has like legit like every single like machine gun operated in the World War II era.
Ooh.
Like, and they're all game used.
Hell yeah.
They're all game used.
Ooh.
I had him bring them all out, and we had a machine gun World War II machine gun day for his birthday. And I like shot that BAR, and I was like, this is incredible.
You're in charge of my next birthday party.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm surprised the dude from Oklahoma who picked a Matthews bow for his 5th pick didn't pick like a Rapala DT10 and like Gizzard Shad or something. But we'll let him go.
I know.
No crankbaits today. Just
none.
Just all percussion cap except for that Matthews.
Yep.
Well, man, before we get out of here, KJ, please take the time to plug where people can find you and where people can listen to you and watch you.
Man, go over to our Gun Talk Media like website. Like that's the first place I usually send somebody because they can always find all our shows over there. But Gun Talk Media on the socials. And then if you want to follow, I don't know why you would want to follow me. I'm the worst like personal like influencer out there. Like I hate promoting myself. and I hate posting my own stuff because like
you're second place, I'm first.
Yeah. I kind of feel like, why does anybody want to keep up with me? But if they ever want to, flat brim KJ, although the brim ain't flat today, typically it is. Flat brim KJ.
Fud brim KJ today.
Yeah, that's what it. Dude, that's a good name for my alter ego channel.
Yes, it is. Fud brim KJ. Awesome. Well, guys, if you have stuck around to the end, we appreciate you watching. Yeah. Do not forget, follow Gun Talk Media. Go follow KJ. Go check out his podcast, Gun Talk Hunt, and check him out on the plethora. Ooh, I used a big word. Of
it's a word of the day.
Gun Talk Media accoutrements. Yeah. Damn, I hit a twofer, man. I killed it.
God dang, that's worth 2 drinks.
Hell yeah. So on behalf of KJ and Matt, I'm Mike, and we will catch you guys next time. Thanks for watching.